when you normalize relations, it must be because you have said to yourself that conflict has run us into a dead end, and we want to open a new avenue, a new direction. You don't necessarily have to know where the direction will take you. I had the good fortune of being able to open relations with China. I say good fortune because the constellation that made that possible was not created by Nixon or me. We recognized it. That was, and so when I had other negotiations with adversaries, I think the first thing one needs to know is the adversary's perception of the world. And so because what one is trying to reconcile is perceptions that were different enough to produce the previous conflict. And so at a minimum you want to reduce that conflict to a proportion so that you can work together. Or, if it goes well, to develop objectives which you can pursue together. So, there are different ways of doing this. Some people think that the way to do this is to take very tiny little steps and so get used to it. And I used to call it the salami tactic of negotiation. You slice it very thin. My own view, but this is I would usually tell my opposite number quite accurately what my objective was. Because my reasoning would be that there are a lot of little things that happen all the time. But if you want to achieve a consensus on a direction, you should try to achieve a parallel interpretation, or at a minimum, the other side should understand what you're trying to do and not waste too much time analyzing you. I am here to achieve this.
Okay.
And here is why I think this might be desirable. And you must have experienced this more than I. When you enter a negotiation, you often know what your bottom line is. And some people will say, just get there very slowly because maybe you don't ever have to reach it. I usually offered my bottom line right away.
Right up front. Just right up front, you say, this is what I want.
Well, maybe 5%,
Okay.
but just to have a little margin so that it doesn't look like an ultimatum.
A little country too. No.
But there must be lawyers in this group who will tell me the exact opposite. But that would be my approach.